Welcome back to another installment of the COVID Chronicles. It's August and what feels like year 45 of COVID. By now, your church is probably reopened on a limited basis. You probably got some mixture of a local audience and an online audience that you're trying to serve. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you what we're doing for worship here in Peoria now and where you can find some awesome resources to use in your live stream. So let us go forth. Like a lot of churches, we've been constantly adjusting to our online church. We started off like really strong doing these awesome things, then we got bogged down trying to make different pieces of technology work together that didn't want to work together. And well, for a while we even just streamed for our church members only, but that was never really satisfying because we wanted to get our worship out there. Not because we have a production like Bethel or Hillsong, but because we think the world needs Adventist voices, and it's never been easier for people to hear those voices. People who wouldn't otherwise set foot in your church will tune into your live stream just to see what's going on. So we've ridden that emotional roller coaster, okay? We've had our ups and our downs, our frustrations and failures with things not working on Sabbath morning. Technology and budgets and local laws have been changing constantly, and it can be really hard to keep up your online church, keep it in line with your church's mission. So if you're in need of a word of encouragement, then just keep it up, man. Just keep it up. Goal is not technical perfection. It's not producing a good show. It's just about being who we are in a digital space. Let me tell you, we've never been closer to that goal than we are right now. Last week, we launched our latest version of our online church, and I'm just so excited about it. Let me just explain how it works, and then we're going to talk about the resources that we use to build it. Okay, so the goal isn't here to tell you how to do your online church, just to share ideas. Let's brainstorm together, okay? So we begin with a countdown video and some music. Now the video when we started was just a random motion graphic, but we're switching it over to an announcement slide deck. We have two goals here. First, to give people a few minutes to get on our stream. You may set your church to begin at 9:30, but you know that not everyone is there at 9:30. They're still trying to figure out how to log in. What's that website called? The Book in the Face? What is that again? Okay. So the goal of the timer is to collect as many people as possible, get them all seated down, digitally speaking, and ready for things to begin. And the second goal with the announcements is just to tell them useful stuff that they need to know. Then we move into what I call Act 1. Act 1 is teaching time. After the countdown, we move into a Kahoot quiz about the Sabbath school lesson. The hope is that knowing there is a fun quiz in there is a way of getting people engaged with their Sabbath school lesson. Because this is being streamed over Facebook and YouTube, we don't take for granted that the people watching are Adventists. So we show a short video explaining how people can find the Sabbath school guide and what it's for. And then it's time for class. Act 2 is kids time. We were doing children's story when we began, but because we can't have kids coming forward at church, we realize it's just kind of sad to have a teacher up there with no kids. And also, children's story in the middle of worship just feels a little out of place. It doesn't really connect with any other part of worship. The other problem was that we didn't know exactly when children's story was going to be premiering every single week. So if kids are playing in another room, by the time their parents call them over to the TV to hear the story, they might have missed the first 15 or 20 seconds of it. So we created what we called Kids Quarter, 15 minutes of preschool to middle school content that sits between Sabbath school and church. It happens precisely at 10:45 every Sabbath morning, rain or shine, so the parents know when to get the kids in the room. Act 3 is, of course, worship. We don't have live singers up front yet, so we've been using some lyric videos for our music. It's not nearly as nice as having live singers, but it works. We've also been working on recording some of our singers throughout the week, so hopefully in another month or so, our music time will entirely be led by local singers in our church. After the music, we do scripture, prayer, another song, and then a sermon. We end with a challenge, something for them to do this week, and that's it. The beauty of this online church is that it keeps our local audience and our online audience in sync. Everything you see on the live stream is also what the congregation sees in the sanctuary on the big screen. So it's entirely plug and play. We can do a live scripture reading or a pre-recorded one. It really doesn't matter. When we're ready to do more live music, we just cut the lyric videos and do live music instead. It's just really a flexible format. Whether we can meet in church or whether none of us can come to church and Illinois shuts down again. We can do the same things. So I spend the first few days of every week rebuilding the parts of the service that need to change from week to week. I have to get new lyric videos and kids content, music and background. So where do I get it from? Some of it we pay for, and some of it we get for free. But let's start with free, because we are Adventists after all. A fantastic free resource is Life Church. If you go to open.life.church, you can sign up for free and access a bunch of kids' videos, course materials, music, sermon graphics, you name it. You can also head to Church Media Drop, where you can find some free countdowns and graphics and mini movies also. If you can afford just to spend a little bit of money, because what else are you spending money on right now? Worship House Media is a good spot to go. That's where we get our lyric videos from. They're like 10 to 15 bucks. They often have a free web license, which is what you need to legally stream your stuff, okay? This is an important point, because you just can't go buy something on the internet and think that you have the right to stream it. You need to check these things. And even when you have the rights, as I did, YouTube and Facebook can still shut you down. In fact, Worship House will straight up tell you, we cannot guarantee that social sharing sites like Facebook and YouTube will not flag or block this content unintentionally. Even if you legally have the rights, does not matter. In the past, Facebook would usually just stop your live stream in its tracks, whereas YouTube will flag your video for you to deal with it afterwards. You can choose to trim out the song that they don't like, or you can contest their problem that they have with your video, whatever it is that you do, okay? You have no control over what Facebook and YouTube will do to your live stream. So just keep that in mind whenever you buy music. Worship House Kids is where the magic is for me. They have some fantastic kids contents, like videos going through the book of Daniel chapter by chapter, with coloring pages and games that you can print out that go along with each video. So you can host those on your church website. Tell the parents to print them off ahead of time for your kids. And if you need even more basic building blocks in constructing your online church, you can use, like we do, Envato Elements for a lot of the stuff that we create. It's a wonderful store with everything from WordPress themes to music to sound effects to keynote templates to product mockups to background videos. They have a little of everything. You can also go to Lightstock for some non-cheesy Christian pictures. You can go to Church Motion Graphics for some truly top-of-the-line motion graphics. But if you know how to create your own custom videos and graphics, you probably already know about these things. Let me just reiterate what's really important. It has never been more important for you to not go into a Google image search and use whatever you find there, okay? Just do not do that. Make sure you have the rights to the things that you use during online church. It is super, 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 super important, okay? Well, I'll put links to all these things in the description below. If you have some resources, some treasures that you have discovered and that you love and that you use for your online church, please comment below and share them with everybody else who's watching this video, okay? I just want to encourage you, keep up the awesomeness. Keep your focus. Don't lose it. I know there's a lot of new technologies, a lot of things that are changing constantly, laws and best practices for dealing with COVID and all these things. It's really easy to lose sight of what we're trying to do here, okay? So keep that clear in your own mind. Keep honing your online church to better align with your church's mission. I think we have come to a moment where we no longer have to hide and keep our heads down and just bunker down and get through this. We need to be looking at this situation. We need to be looking at online church as a part of our mission, not just service to our members who are at home, but part of our mission, okay? Keep that in mind. You keep going forward. I will see you next time. Remember that the best is yet to come.